Beep, beep, beepity beep. Okay, I'm online. Alright, let's get this started. Alright, welcome to the Mars Clipper, Off-Grid, Robot, Rover, and Rocketship Factory. Huh? Sure, let's just go with that. Okay, so what's been happening? It's been about a month since the last video. Yeah, over 2,700 views, and so far, no one has bought the ranch. Shocking. There was only really one thing I wanted to do out here that I never got around to doing, and that was to build a big Mars Rover kind of a robot. And I even have most of the parts. When I lived in Austin 5 or 6 years ago, I'd already started writing the Mars Clipper book story. So of course there was the robot Dreads, but I was also really interested in building a Mars Rover. And out here is about the most perfect place ever to have one of those. I really thought about that a lot while I was getting ready for the bike tour, also. How cool would that be while I'm out on the road if I could just dial up the robot and take a look around? So it kind of started off as an idea in the last couple of weeks. If I did sell the ranch, I probably couldn't practically keep all the random parts I've been gathering over the last 5 years. And if I had to put them all in storage, well, they'd just sit there. What then? I mean, just donate them to a school or something, I guess. I have a few Raspberry Pis, a whole box full of Arduinos, CNC shields, stepper motors, radio control transmitter and receiver, servos, FPV goggles, motors, sensors, all just sitting there, waiting. Alright then, how about if I start building something now, while I'm still trying to figure out my next adventure? For me, one of the reasons for building something like the Mars Rover is for it to be a camera platform. Go drive around and see what's out there, to get a different point of view. I really thought about that when I was building Turtle, the attempt to build a recumbent bike trike. I'd go put a camera on a tripod and then move it around. If I had a robot, the camera could drive itself. How frickin' awesome is that? When we look at what people are actually doing with robots, we kind of already have self-driving cars. The robot might be able to drive around out here and not fall in a hole. And, with machine vision, the robot could track a target and follow it. So for example, if I put on my red shirt, the camera could see the red shirt, lock on, and then keep panning the camera to keep me in the shot. While I've not done any of this myself yet, it is apparently pretty easy to do with off-the-shelf parts and some clever code. As for the ranch, I'm torn, really. If I can come up with some projects to do, like the robots, I already have most of the parts to do them. If there's enough interest in what I'm able to do videos of, maybe this could become self-sustaining again. I'm about 80% to where I really need to be. So I'll get to building, you do the clicking and watching, and let's see how it goes. As for day-to-day life on the ranch, in the month or so I've been back, I've killed 3 rattlesnakes, 2 in the same day no less, and I've thinned the herd of mice considerably. It rained overnight last night. I hadn't heard the rain until just before I went to bed. The drinking water trash can is right full again, and it looks like the hot tub is about to overflow. The IBC tank on the north side went up a bit too. I now have about 2,000 gallons of non-drinking water, so more than I need for the next year at least, and I have probably enough drinking water to the end of the year. I could also filter some of the other water for drinking if I needed to, but for now, the rainwater off the metal roof just keeps topping me off. So what I'm thinking for today, let's do a quick recap of the last month, what I've been working on. So let's see, there's 3D printing. I'm making some parts for the blue bike, which will be the next electric bike. I've got some robot parts that I've been building. I made a Raspberry Pi rack. And then coming next, robots, rovers, the school bus spaceship set, robot factory, and some DIY machines and tools. Okay, I have the whole back half of the house. That's my tinker shop. Robots is really what I was thinking of for that. Plus the bus. That's another great area I can use. When I was working on the electric bike, I was doing soldering and batteries in the bus. Oh, the robots will most likely use the electric bike batteries. I mean, I have 4 of them, so that's kind of makes sense. Also, the Mars Rover will have solar panels, naturally. I've not shown this much, but I do have a pretty good 3D printer. Got it while I was in Austin. Used it a lot there, but it uses a lot of power. If I pick the best sunny days, I've done some parts that took about 4 hours to print, and I have enough power to do that. Living off-grid does affect how you do things like that. You really have to plan. I'll also be able to take advantage of being able to weld things like the chassis. Most hobby robots you see are based on kits and laser-cut acrylic parts. So I should be able to build things that are a bit bigger, and I think some of this will work better, easier at a bigger scale. A couple weeks ago I did some testing with a little RC radio-controlled buggy, and I noticed how much it bounced over even the littlest rocks. The camera footage was pretty bad. That was the little buggy I had thought of taking on the bike trip. I then did some testing with some other wheels I have. Turns out the Harbor Freight tires I have for the wheelbarrow work really well. So I did a quick mock-up yesterday. I think this will be pretty cool. Everyone will want one, right? Let me get it working first, and then we'll discuss how you can get one of your own. I'll likely open source anything I do, but maybe I can make some parts kits to sell. I probably shouldn't get too far ahead of myself, but at the same time, that's kind of the whole point. Where do I want to be in a few years? Of all my crackpot ideas, this seems like the most fun. Let's go already. Stay tuned.
Beep, beep, beepity beep. Thanks for watching. This is Drex, one of the robots you'll get to meet soon. Be sure to subscribe. Bye for now.